Her Rainbow Mane, written by HerrpFace. Applejack sat alone in a field, nervously tapping her hoofs together. Many clouds in the sky hovered past, but one only stood stationary, the home of one of her best friends. A friend whom she feared that what she was about to do would change everything about them for the worst. Almost everyone in Ponyville knew of Applejack, most of whom had strong opinions for the hard-working Earth Pony. Whether it be supplying the town with its food supply, lending a helping hoof to any pony in need, or for all the adventures and sacrifices she endured for many others. Many respected Applejack as a strong, iron-willed pony, always blazing through life and putting others before herself. She took all the praise with modesty, although she was flattered by the attention. Applejack refused to try to build herself up, and rather be humble towards every pony. A gulp traveled down her throat. For the first time in a long while, Applejack wished everything they said about her was true.
You mean, you are... but we...
Rainbow Dash's voice echoed in her head, tingling with shock.
I gotta go.
Applejack cringed again at the image of Rainbow flying away. For a moment, she wished Rainbow wasn't a Pegasus. Her friends almost knew everything about her. She wasn't the one to keep secrets, and would often confide anything that was troubling or eating away at her. She always feared living some sort of double life. One she wore in public, and another she locked away in her closet. That probably done the exact opposite for her. Of all the things she told them, probably the one she tried so desperately to keep to herself was the biggest of all. One that always tugged at her heart as she talked with her friends. One that she feared could shake the foundations of what the six of them shared, especially her friendly rival Rainbow Dash. The only pony that she could confide her secrets with was Twilight Sparkle, her bookish companion. "Why are you scared to tell her?" Twilight inquired as she got over the surprise.
"I'm scared 'cause... what if she doesn't like mares like I do, and thinks I'm some kind of weirdo? What if she doesn't want to be friends anymore because I'm a filly fooler?"
"Well, Applejack, I'm not sure if Rainbow's a filly fooler or not, or even if she would be willing to tie the knot if she found out you were one," Twilight said. Applejack scratched the back of her neck at that memory. "But remember one thing," Twilight continued. "Even if she doesn't feel the same way, I can assure you that Rainbow Dash is a lot kinder than many ponies think of her. She might be rough here and there, but she also cares deeply about a lot of ponies, especially us."
"Doesn't mean it wouldn't come as some big shock to her,"
Applejack said. "Well, I'm certain that as surprised as she would be at whatever you say, Rainbow Dash truly cares for you, whether it be as friends or maybe lovers." Twilight trotted to Applejack's side, gently reaching around her shoulder. "I know that you're scared, Applejack, and I can understand why, but I think you should at least tell Rainbow how you feel." You'll sure, Twi? Not just to see how Rainbow Dash would feel, but for yourself. I can tell whatever fear you're feeling is eating away at you, and telling Rainbow would solve things between the two of you."
I guess you're right. I'll tell her."
Twilight gave a smile and pulled her into a gentle hug. "Don't worry, Applejack. I promise that through even the worst, Rainbow Dash will still be your friend. I promise." A day later, Applejack sat looking at the clouds in fear.
"Maybe we won't get together,"
she sighed to herself.
"Oh, but please be my friend."
She said nothing for several minutes straight, the area silent aside from the wind sweeping through the field around her. However, her eyes widened as a blue, somewhat colorful blob shot out of a cloud home and began to descend towards her. With somewhat of a flourish, Rainbow Dash landed with a gentle swoop, folding her wings in midair before expertly landing on her 4 hooves. She had somewhat of a proud look that Applejack couldn't help but smile at. "Hey, AJ, sup?" "Not much, Rainbow. You?" Same old, same old." Rainbow Dash shrugged as she seated herself on the log next to Applejack, just as peppy and friendly as always. Applejack loved that about her. She silently prayed this wouldn't be the last time Rainbow Dash acted like that towards her. "So, you wanted to talk about something?" Rainbow Dash said.
Yeah, Rainbow. I do."
"You okay? You look kinda nervous."
Rainbow,"
Applejack stammered, having no idea where to begin.
"Well, Rainbow, I know this might come as strange to you, but what do you think of me?" What do I think of you? Rainbow parroted, not expecting Applejack to be this upfront. Like, how good of friends are we? Well, Rainbow Dash scratched the back of her head. She was certainly not the one for heartfelt discussion. Well, I think even though we don't get along all the time, you're a really nice pony, and all, Rainbow said. Anything else? Well, you are much as my friend as others are. Actually, you're one of my best friends. Why? Well, Rainbow, the truth is, I've kept a secret from lots of ponies. What kind of secret? Rainbow said. Before I can tell you, I just want to know. The conversation felt like a spinning top for Applejack, which any wrong word could topple over. Would we still have a chance of being friends? Rainbow Dash looked completely taken off guard. What is it? Did you kill some pony or something? She let out a small chuckle, trying to defuse the situation. Rainbow? It could have been seconds, even minutes that had passed before Applejack spoke again. She couldn't tell. Rainbow, I'm a filly fooler. A filly fooler? Rainbow Dash seemed surprised, but didn't express any visible disgust or hatred. Really? Yeah, I'm lesbian. Whoa. Rainbow awkwardly scratched her mane. Did you just find this out or something? Nah, I'd known that since I was a little filly. Just never really got with stallions. Rainbow looked down at her hooves over the log, gently tapping them together. I'd never guessed. Applejack couldn't read Rainbow's face as she gazed at the ground, sitting stiffly. So? So what? What do you think? Applejack asked. I'm surprised, I guess, Rainbow said. You don't hate me or anything, right? Is that what you're worried about? Rainbow replied with a somber expression. Of course not! Rainbow rolled her eyes and smiled, letting out a cackle. Despite Rainbow's lighthearted reaction, Applejack surprised her and pulled her in for a hug. A wide smile spread on her face as slivers of tears began to appear on her lashes. Thank you, Rainbow, Applejack insisted, as Rainbow softly returned a hug. Thank y'all so much. No prob. It can take a lot of guts to come up with stuff like that. As they slowly broke the hug, Rainbow giggled at the tears streaming from Applejack's eyes, who chuckled too as she wiped at her damp cheeks. So, does any pony else know? Rainbow asked. Only Twa, and some of the other apples, but, there's more. I think there's something else y'all should know, Rainbow. What else? Rainbow didn't seem to understand what could top that. She'd realized how wrong she was. Rainbow, before I say anything else, I just want y'all to know that I truly love what we have as friends, and I hope what I say won't make things hard between us. Applejack, I just said things are cool between us. I know, but for everything we've gone through, all the good times we shared, all the time we talked and all. She paused, wishing she was a more eloquent speaker. For the times we've been together for a while, there was something more, something that I always thought would be real only in my dreams, but I just hope to make it real. And there it was. Something flared within Rainbow's eyes, something that seemed to seize any imperfection in the world, and brought an image she long thought about into a solid, emotional reality. Applejack? Are you, Rainbow stammered, with a look of astonishment. With as much confidence as she could muster, Applejack smiled and slowly nodded, more tears streaming from her eyes. Rainbow smiled. Can... Rainbow began with anticipation, reaching for Applejack's hooves, one in each as she looked into her eyes. Can you say it? This was it. Every bit of joy in the world belonged to her, as everything Applejack feared died on sight. She paused, cherishing the moment as she looked straight into Rainbow's beautiful, warm, hopeful eyes. Her lips tensed, filled with anticipation at the words to come out. I love you, Rainbow. But Applejack's smile slowly melted as Rainbow Dash's eyes began to glow a bright white, prompting her to gasp as the two of them slowly began to float a few feet off the ground. A faint whining sound around them became louder and louder as Applejack tried to wrench herself out of Rainbow's grasp, but found herself trapped in their vice-like grip as a beam of blinding white light shot from Rainbow's eyes and into hers. She tried to let out a scream that instantly faded as her face completely relaxed, transfixed within Rainbow's gaze. The colors of Rainbow's mane seemed to begin to shift, but still maintained their separate contrasts as they began to sweep off her scalp, traveling down her neck and past her shoulders, whilst the two ponies remained frozen in midair with a blinding white aura around them. The colors trickled across Rainbow's legs, traveling across her hooves and not stopping as they transcended upon Applejacks. The instant they managed to flee Rainbow's body completely, the two ponies were flown back as a massive explosion of energy thundered between them, sending the two back several feet and knocking them out cold. A Saiyan pony whom no pony in Ponyville has ever met before lay unconscious in a field. She slowly stirred awake, with only fragments of what just transpired floating in her mind. What just... She groaned as she weakly got onto her hooves, slowly adapting to where she was. An orange blob lay some distance away. As she approached to see who it was, she let out a small gasp as she found out it was a familiar Earth pony. She flew over to a nearby pond, tears forming in her eyes as she saw her jet black mane in a reflection. "I'm free!" she joyfully exclaimed. "We are free! We are finally free!" With an elated smile, the Pegasus took off for the sky, her howls of sheer joy fading in the distance. The orange pony groaned as she awoke minutes later, thoughts of the Wonderbolts and Daring Do bouncing in her head. With a somewhat lazy look, she groggily stood up and headed back towards Ponyville. Twilight looked up from her book as the door to the library chimed open. "Hello, Applejack. How are things going with..." Her smile faded as she noticed the orange pony's rainbow-colored mane. She stated simply. She's actually kinda lame. The end. Hello, Ray Pony, Snogwritts here. Hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, be sure to leave a like. And, if you haven't already, subscribe for more readings like this one every Saturday. Alright, that's it for me. This is Snogwritts, signing out.